Hello.
We're back again because we didn't have a stream last weekend or last Friday. Ooh, what ad do we have? Register for the webinar. Webinar jam. I don't know that guy's name. Okay, just skip the ad. For those who received ads today, that is because I keep saying recently got monetized, but it's been like 6 months now. But those pennies that we receive for those ads allow us to make awesome upgrades, which we're in the middle of right now. In fact, Mr. Moore just upgraded his entire computer. If you guys are in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, you might have seen a post about that. But that is why we didn't have Friday Q&A last week.
Yeah.
Because we thought that he would get it done by Friday, but there was just no way.
So a lot of work.
We should post another picture of it completed in the group so they can see this monstrosity. Some of you got to see it, but I actually commented a video of it in a post that I made, so you won't be able to scroll through the photos and find it. But anyway, that's why we weren't here last weekend, but we should be back on schedule. I did want to give well wishes to everybody who is living in the Northeast, because we have some huge winter storms on their way.
Yeah, big time.
Well, how many inches is New York supposed to get?
Some places it said upwards of 40, but I don't know if I believe that
Look
or not.
at the kitties. They're back there fighting.
They can't see it.
They're wrestling. So if you hear any weird noises, it's the cats back there fighting. So, oh, there they go. So for everybody who is living in the Northeast, be sure to be safe, stock up. Today is like your last chance to go out and get your bread and milk or almond milk before all of those storms hit. So we've kind of already prepped. We're not expecting to go anywhere or do anything over the weekend because it's going to be so bad. So be safe. I also wanted to announce that tomorrow I'm going to be announcing the giveaway winner for the Alpha product giveaway. And those are basically all of the products that we've collected for our unboxing videos. If you're not familiar with those, you can go back and watch a couple of them on our channels. But basically, Alphas send us their products either as gifts to us or to be donated for this giant giveaway. And right now our giveaway box is up to $1,000. So the giveaway is closed, but we'll be announcing the winner. So if you entered that, be sure to look out tomorrow to see who won the big box. And then I have to shove all of these products into a package and mail them. So I'm hoping that nothing gets broken because there is a lot in there. I also have one exciting announcement before we begin with Paula today. And I can't really say much about it, but I need you guys to keep an eye out in early February because I might have some really cool news, and Anthony Wolf might have some really cool news from E-Rank, formerly Etsy Rank, but I can't say any more. Just expect something in February and keep an eye out. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? E-Rank, something in February. Don't miss any emails from me or you will be devastated. All right, so today we're going to be hanging out with Paula Hoss, and you guys might remember her from one of our past interviews, and it has been like one of our most popular interviews to date. I think that her and Amber Marie are our most popular interviews out of all of our alphas, and both are Handmade Alpha Academy students. But Paula in particular, she just continues to amaze me just because, like, I think she said, Paula, I know you're actually here. We just have you muted, but nod. Did you say you made $16,000 in November? Yeah. $16,000 in November alone. Can you guys imagine that? Can you fathom that? Type into the comments and let me know if that is just a freaking dream to you. So that's all going to be super exciting. And Paula also has a goodie for you. She has something super secret that she's going to be talking about at the end. So we've got about 5 minutes, guys. Who is joining us today? And let us know where you live and if you're getting snow. We have Lindsay. She says that there's supposed to be 30 centimeters here this weekend. 30 centimeters. That's
I'm too tired for math.
We're too tired for math. We're not good at math here. Mr. Moore is. Leftover homemade biscuits and gravy. Oh, Linda Sue, are you going to invite us over? Listening live. Let's see. Yay, morning, afternoon, Sandy Barn Door Designs. Miranda, E-Rank has been my life lately. Of course, we love E-Rank, and she loves Paula. Go, Paula! Let's see, lots of people. Go, Paula! 16K is amazing. I can't even fathom doing that in a year. Yeah, she did it in a month. That's why you should definitely listen very carefully today, because she's going to be sharing some secrets. Oh, no. Did we get a spam?
I don't know if it's spam or not.
Oh, God. Let's see.
Hello?
Hello. That's how he answers the phone when we get a random call, and then the cats just run around. The show is always complete with the cats and the crazy action. Let's see, Miranda. Wow, Paula, you're kicking butt. Let's see. Derek from Detroit is expecting 7 inches of snow. New York. I heard that New York is going to get it really bad. Let's see. Minneapolis, we get the cold. Just 4 to 6 inches here in Indiana. We're actually disappointed. I don't know. I don't like being able to not get out of my driveway. And I drive a Dodge Challenger, and you can't drive it in the snow. It is not a snow vehicle. In fact, we tried to get it out of the driveway last week and got stuck. So we tend to just stick to our little Kia Soul when it's snowing. We've got about 3 minutes, guys. Gold Crown greetings. Also a Handmade Alpha Academy student, is in South Carolina. Wendy from Wendy Work Art. She is also an HA student from Wisconsin. No snow right now, but all day yesterday. Elkhart, Indiana. It's supposed to be freezing, snowy weekend here. Yeah, we're in Ohio, so we're expecting quite a bit. Are you good? Was it a spammy?
It was my computer technician all the way from India.
Your computer technician in India, because you absolutely need a computer technician.
I do. I do.
You don't just build computers from scratch or anything. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead since, I think that we've covered all of our announcements and you guys are also patiently waiting. Paula Hoss is a Handmade Alpha Academy student, and she joined during our very first opening of Handmade Alpha Academy. For those who don't know what that is, it's not open right now, so you don't need to worry about it, but it is my course which teaches you how to build a successful Etsy shop. And the thing about Paula is she already had a successful Etsy shop when she joined Handmade Alpha Academy. I actually received this email from her that said that she was already one of Etsy's highest rated, I can't remember if she said highest rated or best selling. I can't remember what she said, but she was already a huge brand on Etsy for skincare, and she was doing phenomenal. But what she wanted was to reach 6 figures. And I told her, I said, I can't really, that's not how I market. I can't really say, yeah, I'm going to make sure that you make 6 figures. But what I did tell her was that I felt that with a few, small tweaks, just because she was already doing so phenomenal, with a few small tweaks, I was more than confident in her ability to bring herself to that point. And she has far surpassed that. And she has an amazing story. So we're going to go ahead and, Paula, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. And I am in control of the camera, so you don't have to do anything. There she is. Look how beautiful. Oh, wait, I don't think we can hear you. Oh, no, yeah, we can. There you go.
Hear me? Hey, guys. Hello. How are you? Hey.
Paula, who's your friend? Tell us about your friend.
So this is Niev. Anybody else can call her Nim. So she's from Ireland. She does not have the accent. She can turn it on if you want. But she so actually Nim is one of the testimonies of Handmade Alpha Academy, because as a result of finishing your program, I was able to hire on my first full-time employee. So she is
That's so awesome.
My full-time employee, and I wanted to bring her on with me today to kind of support and talk and almost like train her a little bit. This is also a training exercise for her so that she can learn how we interact and how we do these videos.
That is so freaking cool. I'm super duper excited to have both of you, and I hope that she learns a lot and that there's no pressure and that she's not super duper nervous that there are 112 people watching her all simultaneously right now. Are you nervous?
No, I don't.
She's
Maybe
pretty
a
good.
little bit, but we'll see.
She's pretty good.
Is this the most eyes that you've ever had on you, like all at once?
I don't think so. On camera, yes.
There was that time that you ate ghost pepper hot sauce.
Yes, I was on Wahlburgers TV show. So, and I got $5 from one of his friends. So
for drinking ghost pepper hot sauce.
yes.
So
And you succeeded? You were able to do that without incident or
I got it.
explosive toilet?
this girl drinks like hot sauce on her cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's him, but that's not me. I can't even like do Frank's Red Hot. All right, Paula. So let's talk about your story. I know that most people already know it because most alphas watched your first Q&A, but for those who are joining us for the very first time, or for those who aren't already familiar with you and your brand, let's shine the spotlight on Clean and Dirty for a minute.
nice. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for having us. And so I started Clean and Dirty probably almost 3 years ago, but even going back before that, for all of you that, you know, are on your first Etsy shop or even your second one, I first came into the realm of Etsy, if it's 2019 right now, probably around 2012 or 2013. I had a jewelry shop, and then I was reselling wholesale jewelry on Etsy, which I found out very quickly is not okay. And then I had an art shop. So for all of you that are in your first or second or even third iteration of your Etsy shop, it's okay. So even the most successful stores and businesses have many starts, and all of those are learning points to the process. So my name is Paula Hoss. This is Nim O'Connell, and we are in Massachusetts. So I know, Starla, you were talking about the snowstorms. I just had Nim pull it up. Give us some likes, guys, if you are in the New England area. I think we're going to be okay. So the way it looks for us, we are near Plymouth, Massachusetts, which is right near Cape Cod. I think we're only going to get 3 to 5 inches, which for some of you,
I want more, but
I do too.
I miss snow. We haven't
I
had any
know.
snow at all. And I'm very sad about it.
We'll send you some.
Yes, please. My daughter was saying, she's like, I want a snow. No, she goes, I want snow. And I said, she's 4. And then I said, well, we're going to get a snowstorm over the weekend. She goes, I don't want a snowstorm. I'm like, how do you want snow without a snowstorm? And she goes, the snowstorm is going to blow me away. I only want snow.
The idea of a snowstorm sounds a lot scarier when you're so little.
It does, the nuances. So I think we're only going to get 3 to 5. I know northern Massachusetts is going to get up to 2 feet. So
My boyfriend's in New York, so I'm very worried about him.
is
but-
New York going to get more?
Yeah, like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to get up to like 40 inches.
Oh.
goodness, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some places up in New England as well.
Oh yeah, never mind.
He's coming home.
Never mind. I forgot he's home with me for the weekend.
Anyway, so I started Clean and Dirty 3 years ago, and a little background on me and why I decided to start Clean and Dirty. I am completely passionate about natural skincare. I am a product junkie. I remember being like 13, 14, 15 years old and like hoarding all of the skincare products from my mom's cabinets and looking at all them. And I would like turn on the shower to get in the shower, but then I would spend an hour just like using all the stuff all over my face and then washing it all off. And so I've always loved skincare. And I have my bachelor's in communications from Rutgers University in New Jersey. And then I have my master's in communications management from Simmons in Boston. So what communications management is, it teaches, like my role if I were to go into corporate world would be to teach businesses how to manage their communications. So that falls under branding. It falls under messaging, how you message people, how you position your company. And how I've translated that into Clean and Dirty is the number one thing that I have found that has created the most growth in my business is creating a story for my business, creating a story around why we create what we do, creating a story around me as the CEO, starting to build a story around Nim as the director of production and fulfillment. So like even little details like that, like calling myself the CEO, like Alphas, I want you to like say something. I want you to type this. I am a CEO. Like you need to know that. Like you are all CEOs of your own company. Like automatic promotion. Like how cool is that? Like I didn't just say that. Like Nim is my assistant. She is the director of production and fulfillment at Clean and Dirty. Like these are all managing, like micro ways to manage communications within your business that shift the perspective so much of like how people perceive you. So even like when you're talking about your business, like I know when we start, we say like, I just have a little handmade skincare company and we just like, I don't know, like I just like making some things in my house and sometimes I sell them to my friends. Or I create exceptional quality, prestige, handmade, small batch skincare. Our production facility is in Kingston, Massachusetts, and we create everything by hand. We are a woman-owned business. We're telling the same story that way, but we manage our communication to say it in different ways. And then when you're meeting people, when you're putting out the stories, it completely changes everything, guys. So the first thing I want you to do is just practice like the way that you speak to people about that.
Are you guys able to see the chat right now?
No.
So,
I like yours, Angelica.
so everybody is saying, I'm a CEO. Grandma in a Box says, feels funny saying that, haha. But then Angelica, her brand is called Smell My Balls. I don't know what I can't remember what she makes. Angelica, I know that it's something just really witty, but she said, I'm the CEO of Smell My Balls, and then a laughing face.
Yes. That's awesome.
But there are a lot of comments.
Someone's got to be the CEO of Smell My Balls. So
Exactly.
and I'm so glad it's you, Angelica.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Oh, and to give you a little update, Nim just let me know November was actually 18,000 in sales.
Oh, yeah. $18,000 in November.
Yeah.
Okay, bath bombs. That's what Angelica makes. That makes sense. Smell
I
my
love
balls.
it. I
Smell
love
my
it.
bath bombs.
So,
Perfect.
and to give you perspective, the previous year, before we did Handmade Alpha Academy, we did 6,500 in November. So 6,500 in November of 2017, over 18,000 in November of 2018. And then we just had our first $100,000 a year. So, yeah.
So that, remember that email, that email?
I remember it well.
Well, that makes me super happy because of course it's all, I can't just say, I'm not going to say that Handmade Alpha Academy is a magic button. And obviously today we're not here to, this isn't a sales pitch because it's not even open right now, but this is just kind of a testament to how with effort you can make this work for you, and Paula has put in more hours than, most Etsy sellers probably put in their lifetime.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is my full-time job, and this is Nim's almost full-time job right now as well. And I was able to when did you open Handmade Alpha Academy? Was it
June.
Last year. Yeah, June of 2018 was the very first opening, and you were one of our very first students.
Well, the reason I was able to do that, like backtracking, was we actually won the Rockland Trust contest. So we have a local, every region has kind of their local banks, and one of our banks called Rockland Trust had something called the Small Business Big Dreams contest. And it was kind of like a mini Shark Tank for regional small businesses. So we had to do a YouTube pitch. So this is like, a lot of people say, like, how do you become so successful? And one of the things is like being really scrappy. And being really scrappy and like doing nothing short of exceptional. So like for this contest, we had to do a YouTube pitch. And like it had to be a 30-second video of why people should vote for you to go into the finals of this kind of like Shark Tank contest. So what I did was, I wasn't going to like get just in front of my webcam and start pitching. I contacted people from my church who do like these exceptional quality videos. And I asked them like if they would make a video for me like that in exchange for product. So a week later, I had 5 people who have like their degrees in video production in my house with like all their amazing cameras doing it for me for free, simply in exchange for like $100 each of clean and dirty product. So like, guys, get really scrappy. and like think really audaciously and think of like really amazing goals
Using
and think,
your resources.
using your resources like of what you have.
Right. And think about who you know. I mean, we all have that friend who's an aspiring photographer. We all have that friend who, who maybe creates awesome videos. There's so many ways that you can reach out to people who are already in your circle and trading products. I mean, we've had multiple alphas who have told us that is how they have, accomplished these amazing feats. And for you, I mean, how much money did you win during that competition?
$10,000.
How much?
$10,000.
$10,000. And what was that to your business, that $10,000?
That was, so 1,000 of it went to you. So you get a 10% commission. We were able to build the production facility actually in our home before we were making all of our product in our kitchen. So we were able to actually build it on the 3rd floor of our home and build actual Clean and Dirty headquarters. I was able to do Ultimate Architect. So we were able to build the Clean and Dirty website.
Your website is phenomenal, by the way. For those who aren't aware, all these links that we're talking about and the Etsy shop and our website and all of our social media, which you need to check out, by the way, because when you look at how she markets, like you can feel the essence of her brand and her message. So all those links are down below. Be sure to check those out, maybe on your phone as you're listening to this stream, because I think that seeing it as we're talking about it is going to make everything click.
Yeah, make sure we spend a lot of time on Instagram. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Clean and Dirty. It's CLN&DRTY. So that's where we spend.
I'll type it into the chat again.
Sorry?
I'm going to type it into the chat again.
Oh, nice. Perfect. But actually that brings us to a really good point. Like when you're talking about social media and messaging, I wanted to come on today. We wanted to come on to give you guys some really great free tips, and stay tuned because there's going to be a really great freebie at the end of all of this about the #1 question that we get asked is how do we have such incredibly loyal customers? So I don't know if you guys know this. I should have gotten the actual stats, but I believe it is like 80% more efficient to keep the customers that you have than to get new customers. It costs a lot of money basically to get new customers and acquire new customers. And then it's much cheaper to like keep the customers that you have.
And that follows the 80-20 rule too, where 80% of your sales, 20% of your customers.
Exactly. Yes. So we get a lot of questions on how we get these incredibly loyal customers. Like how do we acquire them? And then how do we keep them? So I want to tell you guys what we've learned is like the #1 mistake that people make. And we're going to be talking today more about like messaging on social media, like your business accounts. So like your business Instagram, your business Facebook page, but then this also does translate to the way that you communicate like on your personal Facebook page, if you have a personal Instagram. How many of you guys have a friend that you went to high school with that will post something they are selling every single flippin' day?
Buy my Scentsy, buy my Mary Kay, buy my blah. Oh my God, I get so sick of it.
It's so infuriating, right? And it's not their fault because they don't know any better. They're coached to do that. And it's not the product's fault because the product may be amazing. And handmade sellers, like people who are in direct sales, do this a lot because they don't get a lot of education, unfortunately. But handmade sellers do it as well. You guys may even have friends that are in the handmade market. Every single day, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. We talked about this in our last video. I can't make my rent, buy my product. I can't pay my car, buy my product. You're selling. The #1 mistake that people who are in sales make is sell, 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 sell. And what you do is you annoy your customers, you annoy your friends, and they block you out. They either actually literally block you or they figuratively block you out and do not pay attention to your messaging. And then what happens is they don't see you up here. And I get asked the question a lot. I went live on my own personal Facebook recently about the algorithm. The algorithm is a thing. Like, I don't know if you guys know about it, like the Instagram algorithm, the Facebook algorithm. Basically what it is it changes all the time. And what it comes down to is the more you interact with an account, the more you will see that account.
Right.
So you can see lots and lots of different answers as to what the algorithm is, but it all narrows down to that. So let's translate that into your business. The more people interact with your business, the more they will see your business. And when you are selling, they no longer hear, see, feel, and know you. So you are no longer, those sale posts that you have, they are no longer even showing up on your feed. So I'm going to solve that for you.
I love you, Paula. I love everything you're saying. Don't stop talking.
So the way you fix this, and stay tuned again, because we're going to help you. We're going to give you like a really solid tool to fix this for you. But the way that you can slowly, and it's not going to happen overnight, Starla, again, like I'm not going to promise anything overnight, but this is the method that we personally use at Clean and Dirty headquarters to get new customers and transition them down that sales funnel into loyal customers. We use something called X that out.
Scratch that.
Scratch that. Know, like, trust, sell. So think of you, and so I'm going to say it again. Know, you're going to write it. Know, like, trust, sell. So imagine you meet Nim, right?
Hello.
You don't know her. You guys might not even know me. Say we're like at a party together and we start talking. The first thing you need to do when you meet a person, so marketing is just the same as personal relationships. The first thing you do when you meet a person, or in this case, a brand, is you have to get to know them. Tell us something about yourself. Or tell us like your basic, where you live, what you do.
I'm from Rockland, Massachusetts, and I make all natural skincare.
Wonderful. What's your name?
Neve.
Perfect.
No, she said that.
So tell us about your name. It's a funny fact.
It's Gaelic and super confusing, and no one can pronounce it. If you try to spell it, you won't be able to. I can promise that. And yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, we call her Nim because, fun fact, Nim taught my girls at daycare, and then I reeled her into Clean and Dirty. If you met Nim at a party and she just told you those things and then tried to sell you something, say she wanted to sell you a wrap that will make your calves incredibly nice and thin and gazelle-like gorgeous, you will not be interested to buy from her because all you do is you know her. But then you gain a relationship with the brand of Nim, right? Tell us some really funny facts about you. So now we're moving from you know her. Now you're going to get to like her. So tell us like 3 really like cute facts about you.
My bedroom is half covered in makeup.
I'm going to give a little pro tip. Give something that like people can relate to you about.
Okay. Putting me on the spot here. This is hard.
How about the kids? Can you say anything about them?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
My family's in the process of adopting 2 little kids right now. Hopefully in the next month or so that will be all set. I'm in a long distance relationship, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that. And I don't know.
Okay, we can just keep it at those 2. So what
I like her already.
Exactly. So you're learning to like her. So there are certain people, and I'd love for you guys to comment, that may be adopted, that may have adopted siblings, or that may be adopting your own children, that may have, these kids are coming through the foster care system, that may have experience with the foster care system. So now through brand Nim, as you learn about her as a brand, as she would start telling these stories, those people are really starting to like her because they have a relationship with her. It's on my heart in the future to adopt children personally. So that is a connection that is making me like Nim. I know her and now I like her. So again, we're pretending that Nim is a brand, like she is a brand that is selling something. I have been in long distance relationships before. When I met my husband, he lived in California and I lived in New York. So I know what it's like to be in a long distance relationship. Guys, like, comment if you're in a long distance relationship or if your relationship was one before. That is what's going to get you to like Nim, right?
And this is endless. I mean, she could talk about her favorite like show on Netflix and you could connect. She could talk about her pets. I mean, there are infinite possibilities when it comes to forming these connections and sparking discussions with people who matter. So, I mean, don't think that you have to tell, if you're one of those people who isn't comfortable like telling your full story on the internet, because I know some people don't like talking about their children or things like that. I mean, think outside the box here. There's so much that you can talk about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, talk about your pets. Like, I have chickens. And
I love your chickens.
Chickens.
Thank you. And that's like part of my brand story is our chickens. And like, we're a natural skincare company. Like, we live in the woods. Like, we have a bunch of chickens, kind of like we call it like the Hoss Ranch. So that's part of it. So knowing and liking. And then when you know and like somebody, you're going to trust them. Right? Especially when they are like putting in those funny parts, but they are also putting in those vulnerable parts. Like the chickens are a funny part of my life, but then there's also really vulnerable parts of my life. Like, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. 15 years ago, I left my partner. I was living 300 miles away from anybody that I knew in surviving daily abuse. And I left in the middle of the day with just my cell phone and a black bag of clothes. And then I proceeded to deal with a permanent restraining order and assault charges and all these crazy things. And those things aren't for sympathy. Those things are so you guys can know that I'm human and I'm vulnerable. And there's somebody behind this brand, right? And if you deal with those kind of things, or if you are dealing with those things, reach out to me because I'm passionate about helping other women that are in those situations. So now you know us, you like us, and you trust us because you know that we are not here just to sell to you. We are here to create relationships with you. Starla, are you having tech issues?
No, I'm reading the comments.
Oh,
So everything that you ask them, I mean, we have tons of people with chickens, people asking about, let's see, people asking about the chickens, people talking about long distance relationships, people talking about the length of their long distance relationship. My sister and mother-in-law have chickens. I used to have chickens. Like everybody already likes you just based on these little things. So think about how much power you guys can have just by throwing out. I almost think of them as like you're throwing out fishing hooks, you know, you're throwing them out and you're getting, you know, little bites here and there from people who can also relate with the little tidbits that you're giving them, even if it's something as silly as, hey, I have chickens, or hey, I have a dog, you know?
yes, exactly. Like the breed of dog that you have. You know, people are very passionate about the breeds of dogs that they have. Stay tuned. We're going to have a very exciting dog situation in a few weeks at the Hoss Ranch.
I'm very excited.
And but those little things in the messaging, and I'm going to give you guys a really amazing freebie very shortly, are going to really build those relationships. I'm going to point out something to you. We have not sold you anything. Like, we are building relationships. And then at this point, once you have that relationship with your customer, that's when you say, you know what, by the way, I don't know if you know this about me, we create exceptional quality natural skincare products. If that's something that you're interested in, if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, if you have skin issues that you just can't seem to tackle, if you have hormonal acne like I've dealt with, if you have super sensitive skin like Nim has, we'd love to help you out. And sometimes just leaving it like that makes a world of difference, because what it does is it opens up the conversation.
It plants a seed in their brain so that the next time that they have a skin issue or are looking for a product, they're going to come to you and look for that product.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all about becoming that obvious choice that we talk about, because you planted that seed and you already exist in their mind, and they say, you know, okay, I could buy this crap at Walmart, or I've got this friend who, you know, I know this girl who makes, you know, these products, and I know that she does it from her home, and that they're going to be safe, and that they're natural, and I don't have to worry about all the nasty, you know, Walmart chemicals. And you become that obvious choice, and you occupy that special place in their head, which is, I mean, you guys haven't sold Clean and Dirty to anybody who's in this stream, our 179 viewers. You guys have not sold any of that, but I can guarantee you that there are multiple eyes on both your website and your Etsy shop at this very second, just because people already like you.
Exactly. So I know a lot of you guys are thinking, like, how do I do this, right? Like, how do I implement this know, like, trust, sell model? And the easiest way that, well, we talk a lot. I mean, it can get pretty developed in terms of like sales funnels and pushing people from your social media, like pushing people from social media, getting new social media followers, pushing them to an email list. I always recommend email lists as like your final set point in your sales funnel, because those people are really ready to buy. But if we're just talking really simple, I get hundreds of questions about social media, especially Instagram and Facebook. I created for you guys a really easy February, and you can use it any month. You can even start with it today, but we just created it for February because, you know, a lot of you guys are already in the middle of your challenges. But it's a February social media cheat sheet. So it is the exact method that we use at Clean and Dirty to schedule our social media in just 1 hour a week. So just 1 hour. We use, we schedule everything out. We write all of our captions. We pick all of our photos. And what this cheat sheet is going to do, and I'm going to have Starla drop a link in the comments, and I think it's going to be in the description as well.
Yeah, it's also in the description.
Awesome. So what it is, it's a little form. You guys are just going to write a question for me. What questions do you have about personal branding, about branding yourself now that you have declared that you are the CEOs of your company? How are you going to make yourself the face of your company? I'd love to hear your questions about that, and just put it in along with your email address. There is a little email opt-in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to personally send you a February social media calendar. And what it's going to have is it's going to show you how to do that know, like, trust, sell model. It's going to basically give you ideas. So for instance, like, posts on how to get people to know you, posts on how to get people to like you, and then when to drop those sale bombs, how to get people to know about your products.
And that's perfect, because we just had questions from people saying, well, how do I, okay, well, that all makes sense, but what do I post for the no? Or what do I post for this and that? And then here you are with this gift that literally explains how to do all of that. So that is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little calendar. You can print it out for February. It has like what to post on each day. You can choose your social media platform of choice. And then it even has a little key that says what the post is, and then it gives you a little description and a few ideas on what you can post about it.
That is absolutely awesome. Do you guys love Paula? Like, tell me in the comments how much you love Paula and how much you want to continue learning from Paula, because she has such a unique perspective on brand image. And I knew that from the moment that I looked at her Instagram. I mean, you guys need to follow her. If you don't follow her on any other social media platform, make sure that Instagram.
Look at all these Instagram followers coming in.
Does she have a bunch? How many do you have?
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay. Rowengate 1. Rowengate, I don't know if you're one of them, but my daughter's name is Rowan. Imagineer 586, DC Oddities, Cassidy Brienne 4, Bloomin' Ribbons, Pink Bow Designs. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh. Marie Kennedy Pottery, Miss Ruby G, Wendy Work of Art, Red Lotus Designs, Simply Serendipity, Amethyst Ways, Photo Haiku Art, Lauren Griffin. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. We do have like a little over 5,000 followers. The thing I want to stress, you do not need a lot of followers to get a lot of conversion and a lot of sales. So it is sometimes so much more valuable to speak quietly to a room of 100 or 200 people and truly have them trust you than to scream loudly to 10,000 followers who have no idea who you are and just follow you because you got pictures of your butt on there.
That's hilarious. And that's all of Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is all of Instagram.
Yeah.
We had a question, and it's an off-topic question, but I don't want to ignore it because it seems very important to this person. They want to know what you do with chickens in the snow because they live in California.
Where in California are they? My husband's from California.
I'm not sure.
So chickens in the snow, I actually did an Instagram story about this recently because I got a lot of questions about that. And I'd love to teach you guys a little bit more about Instagram stories in the future. Stay tuned and make sure you sign into that form and get that opt-in because I'm not going to give anything away, but there are big things coming down in Clean and Dirty and Paula Hoss land. So
yes, because Paula Hoss land is a land that you guys want to be in. And I'm just saying, like, Paula knows her freaking stuff, and she knew her stuff like when we first met. And it's like she is on just this, I call it the snowball effect, where she is just growing and growing and growing and gaining this momentum. I mean, when Paula comes bouncing down the hill, not that you're going to be bouncing down. I just imagined you like the blueberry girl from Willy Wonka. When Paula's snowball comes bouncing down the hill, you're going to know that she's coming because she is making quite a ruckus. I am so excited to see her like helping others. And even what was really cool was when she joined Handmade Alphas and she did her first Q&A, the first thing that she asked is, how can I help? How can I help the alphas? What can I do? What can I provide for them? How can I help you more? How can I help other sellers? Like, she is all about just giving, giving, giving. And I love that because you don't see that very often. And obviously those are important morals and values to Mark and I. So when I see someone else doing that, it's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
We clicked.
And that's living proof of that like no trust. And we've talked about this in our previous video. It's also this, it can also be called like the serve, sell model. Like when you serve people and you help them, you're going to sell to them. And it's not about you. It's not about, you know, again, if like people are just selling, you're not going to get conversion on that. So on the chicken note, so apparently they keep themselves warm. So we do have free range chickens, but they have a coop and they go back into the coop very obediently every single night. And at night when it's cold, they kind of like huddle together, and there's an enclosed area that doesn't, you know, it's all walls. It's like up on top of the coop. So they stay nice and warm in there. Some people do have heated coops, but apparently that's an issue because then the chickens lose the ability to like control their own body temperature. So it's actually better not to heat their coop. Aren't they like related to amphibians or something? God bless you.
To reptiles.
Reptiles.
Because that's where, I mean, it's suspected that is the where velociraptors.
Exactly. So apparently they're really good at regulating their own temperature regulation. So they just huddle together during the day. They're out in the yard. I wonder if I have an eye on them. They walk around in little packs on the yard. And then the only issue is their water freezing at night. So we have like an extension cord going from our garage to their heated water. But that's it. So
and you can pick up those water dishes I've seen them on Amazon, and I've seen them in pet stores. So if you live in an area that's cold, you know, we're learning a lot about skincare and branding and chickens.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any more questions?
Let's go ahead. We had a lot of questions. Mark is having a sneezing fit right now, so he decided to run.
Where that happened the last time we talked.
What, a sneezing fit?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that it was cold out last time that we talked too. I don't think that it was very warm out. So let's see. If you guys have questions, or if I missed your questions earlier, go ahead and retype them or copy them and paste them, just because there have been so many comments that have, you know, drowned them out. Let's see. Someone said, is that a horse picture in the background?
Yes. Wait, let's see if we can get you guys. It is.
There it is.
We're actually on my bed right now, and because there's just good lighting. Oh, here's a little tip. When you guys are taking like personal photos and stuff, always take the photo or do a video. I know, Starla, you teach about this in your photography with natural lighting. So the way it looks right now is that is a big bay window right behind me. But imagine I was sitting like this. Look how crummy I look, right?
You look like you, with that view, because you're so dark, you kind of have like this Joker look, because all I can see are black eyes and
Right.
red lips.
Right. So that's, I mean, the difference between that and then sitting in front of that big old bay window to this. Simple little fix. So if you guys are taking photos, if you're taking selfies for your Instagram or your Facebook page or for your Etsy photos or anything like that, really simple tip. Bring it out like that. But yeah, that is a horse photo. I think we got it at Home Goods for like, I think it was like $60 off of like 400 something. And it's
I
over
love Home
in
Goods.
our room.
Awesome. All right. So it looks like we actually have some less home decor questions and more business questions. Yelissa wants to know, what type of inserts do you recommend to encourage the know, trust, sell with your orders?
Oh, inserts for the orders.
Mhm.
You want to answer that?
Yeah. So personalized written out messages mean a lot to customers. It's probably one of the main like compliments we get in our packaging, just because there's such a difference between like getting a package from like a brand and it just being kind of thrown in the box and kind of just like not really any presentation there. But then when you get a package from somebody who like actually cares about the products that they're giving you and they have like the handwritten note and it's all like nicely placed, that just means so much more and you feel like you have that connection to the person that gave it to you. So that's super important.
I think the samples help a lot too.
Yeah, and we do also offer samples with every order. And because you never know, like people might look at the website and they might see something they like might not be sold on it yet. Like we just ordered candles from someone and we saw a scent online and we're like, we're not really sure if we would like that, but she included a sample of that.
Do you want to give her a shout out?
Yeah, Golden Ivy is the girl we got the candles from. She's super nice. Her name's Alexis. She does a really good job at her presentation. She has an Etsy and she has an Instagram and her own website. But yeah, she's super awesome. She makes soy natural candles. But she like included a message for us and like her presentation and her boxes were awesome. But the fact that she included that sample, now we know that we like that. So next time we order, we're going to order that candle too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's perfect. I love that. So samples, personalization. I found personally that I actually write on my envelope and I say magic for, and then their first name has arrived. So magic for
I love that.
has arrived. And you know, just acknowledging their name. You like magic Mark. We have magic Mark over here. Please don't dance. Nobody wants
Is that the after show?
The after show. Let's see. Leftover Hippies asks, how many staff did you have for your 18K November?
So we have, to be very transparent, so it's me. So I work anywhere between, depending on the week, 30 and 50 hours, just depending on like the workflow and how the work goes. I do have 2 little girls. I get asked this a lot. They are in daycare full time. So I have, and this is important to talk about too, like staff that helps you outside of your business, because that makes a huge difference. So I have full-time childcare. I did have someone come to clean my house once during that time. I consider that staff. I had Nim on full-time. I have 2 other part-time assistants that work with us as needed. So that's Megan and Christiana. So they work probably anywhere between like 5 and 15 hours a month, just kind of depending on how that month goes. I have a product photographer, Bethany. How do we pronounce it? Bourgogne.
Okay.
We keep thinking it's fancy, but it's not.
It's not, yeah.
It's like Bourgogne. it looks like bourgeois, like you want to pronounce it French. It's Bourgogne. And she photographs for us, and she lives in Minnesota. And So yeah, it's definitely a team effort. I mean, my husband is very hands-on with our children and he helps a lot with that as well. We did have people coming in, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So we do occasionally do call outs for local friends that, hey, do you want to come in for some free product and package up samples or products or anything like that? So it really is a group effort, and a huge, huge shift in my business. I hear a lot of people saying that they can't afford people. The biggest growth in our business has happened since we've started adding people.
Right. And I mean, you don't have to, it's when you hire, on an assistant who's doing, part-time work here and there, I mean, pay them for what they're worth, but don't feel like you have to give them all of your money. If that's what an assistant is. It's someone who's helping you. It's not like you have to, if you can only hire someone to post on social media for you and you're only, maybe you are tossing them $50. I mean, you might have like a niece or a nephew who's willing to do that,
Yeah. Never underestimate the people that will do stuff in trade for product. Actually, literally every single person that has worked for me, including Nim, started out working trade for product, and that's how I vetted whether or not they were worth actually paying money for.
And that's so smart, because then you're not investing too much in them if they were to turn out to, be a slacker who isn't actually propelling your business forward. Right. So Lisa has a really good question. She wants to know, how long did it take you to get comfortable talking on camera, and do you rewatch your videos? I don't know if she's talking about me or you. I don't rewatch my videos, but Paula, I think that you're just so naturally calm and fluent on camera. Do you rewatch your videos? How long did it take you to get to this point?
I do, but what do I say every time I rewatch them?
Why does my voice sound like that?
Every single time.
Yeah.
Why does my voice sound like that? Did I really say that? It's you.
We're all human.
We're all human, guys. Like, people are too concerned about themselves to care about you. I'm going to share the Turtle Boy sports story. This was the breaking point. So guys, when you think that the worst thing in the world is happening to you, it's actually sometimes the best thing. So it was a year and a half ago, and I was just starting to get comfortable with doing like Instagram lives and Instagram stories and Facebook lives and Facebook stories. And I was bouncing around the question of doing clean and dirty merch. So like doing some t-shirts and stuff. And I had Mark, I think you can relate. I mean, Mark and Starla, you guys can probably relate to this a little bit, like being in the music industry and like knowing the music industry. So I grew up in like the hardcore scene, the punk scene, and I have a lot of friends and acquaintances who are in bands, and it is a very male dominated industry.
90%.
Yeah, for sure.
And I had posted something on Facebook saying like, hey, if you guys get merch printed, like, where do you get it printed? And I had someone that I knew from probably about 10 years ago who I was acquaintances with. So guys, like, full transparency, I'm getting really nervous telling this story because of what happened afterwards. So like, if you think that I'm always confident, like right now my heart is pounding. So I had someone message me and say like, I can give you some sources. He's in a touring band. He's like, I can give you my merch sources, but you're going to have to give me something in return. And I was like, okay. I didn't know like what he was getting at. I thought he was joking around. And he shot me a bunch of links, and he's like, you can contact this person at this merch printing place. He goes, now send me some nudes.
Wow. Guys are pigs.
Yes,
Yeah.
Pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Pigs.
I mean, so I was like, he's married with kids. I'm married with kids. I was like, are you kidding me? And I screenshot it immediately. I showed it to my husband, and I'm not going to go much further into what happened there. But the next day I went on Instagram or Facebook Live, and I kind of just ranted, and I just told the same story that I told now. And I was like, this is such BS. Like, this is what we have to deal with women in any industry. Like, this is what all people have to deal with. I mean, not just women, but all kinds of people. But like, you think business is going really well. These are the roadblocks that I come to. I'm trying to figure out my merch situation and someone's asking for nudes in return. And it got picked up by this satire site.
It was dramatic.
And they ripped on me. And this is like a huge site in Massachusetts and New England. I accidentally said their name. I don't even want to say it because they're just such jerks.
They're not nice people.
And basically their job is they find people online who like are making fools of themselves and write stories about it. So they screenshotted basically every screenshot they could find of me making like a sad face, like, and it was just that over and over and over again.
More content.
And I know, right? And what was the subject? It was like something soccer mom, lesbian soccer mom, feminist cries over feminist manifesto.
Yeah.
So they made it seem like you were up. He's over here just like losing his mind. So they made it seem like you were the bad guy,
yes,
because you exploited literally some creepy pervert who wanted your nudes, and they found a way to exploit you. I mean, I get
it was shared everywhere.
It was shared everywhere.
At this point, I was working with Paula for product, and we were kind of like just in the like very start of our relationship. And I remember waking up and seeing that on my feed on Facebook, and I was like
hundreds of thousands of people. Like,
can't you?
I had people I went to elementary school
in New
commenting on it, like, and being like, "Oh yeah, she was always so dramatic." You're right. Like, it was awful. I cried so hard. I had panic attacks over it. I didn't want to go to the grocery store. It went viral. It went straight up viral. I'm like, I'm never posting anything live ever again. I'm never going, like, business is over. And I thought about it and I prayed about it. And the part that pisses me off the most about them is they're like really pro law enforcement and pro military. My husband's a cop. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So wow. they're like we support. They donate all this money to like the organization that my husband works for, and I'm like, thank you for supporting their wives as well. So I was hysterical. I was absolutely hysterical. I'm never doing any live videos again. I'm never putting myself out there ever again. My inbox was blowing up. People were calling me like, did you see this? Of course I saw it. It was terrible. And I figured like 24 hours later, I sat on it for about 24 hours. And then I basically decided that I had two options. I could either let them win and they could ruin my business. Oh, and the whole like ending of it was like, and she's just writing this because she wants you to buy from her. Mm-hmm. So it could ruin my business and it could ruin my self-esteem, or I could rise above them. So I reposted it on my page. I linked them on my Instagram, on my Facebook business page. And I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but it was something along the lines of like, I'm not going to let these jerks win. I stand by what I said. I was sexually harassed. I wanted just business advice. And like, this was in the middle of the Me Too movement, and #MeToo. Guess what? Someone's asking for naked pictures. So you can either support me or you can support this other website. Choose your side now. And that was my most successful month to date in terms of sales.
That is freaking crazy. And I mean, just
to that date,
that's like one of those like bad publicity is still publicity, because what you were able to do is, rather than shying away from it and going to bed and hiding under your blanket and, you know, crying, which you said you did cry, but
I gave myself the time to do that. I gave myself the time to cry. Yeah.
Right. You got to give yourself the time to cry, but you gave yourself that time, and then you clicked into it and you said, okay, what's my next? What is the most intelligent course of action that I can take? People already are aware of this. They've already seen it. They already know it exists. how can I combat that? And rather than trying to hide it away, and rather than trying to cover it up, and rather than try to, you know, pretend it's not there, you personally took the article and posted it and stood up for the integrity of yourself as, you know, a female business owner, and for your brand and what you represent. And I mean, just the fact that you made like that much money afterwards, I mean, I would send them an email and thank them, because
right, I should. Well, they're anonymous.
And the fact that pretty much everyone in a band ever is an awful person.
Yeah.
And if they ask for something in return for anything, the minimum is going to be nudes. So just be careful when you're talking to people, especially in the punk rock and metal scene.
I know. We know.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. Country scene's not, well, I don't know.
A little bit.
They're pretty bad.
we've been in this industry a while.
Yeah, you guys know. Yeah, it was I'd send them a fruit basket if they weren't anonymous. So I did say that at some point. I'm like, I wish they weren't anonymous and hiding behind a screen, because I would just send them a little turtle or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was it turned out well. And I still actually, I had someone last week message me and say, you know what, that website ripped me apart recently and I can't build myself back up from it, asking for advice. So God places weird things in our lives for weird reasons.
But you figured it all out. Like, you came out triumphantly in the end, and you're just continuing to grow. So, I mean, that's like, there's a silver lining to everything, and you can sit and sulk over the bad, or you can say to yourself, how can I take this really bad thing? I heard somebody say in a video I watched this morning, and I can't remember what it was, but somebody said you need to wake up and take 2 spoonfuls of concrete because you need to harden up, you know? Ooh. So I love that. So we did have a few questions. You want to take a few more before?
Yeah, totally.
Everybody commented, and they were like, everyone was talking about how freaking inspiring, like, that story. Like, at first everyone was like, oh, I feel so bad for you, I feel so bad. But then after you like came out with what you did to, you know, combat this, everyone is like, wow, you're a hero. So that's amazing. Nobody's sulking for you now, they're cheering for you. So that's awesome. Let's see. Cynthia wants to know if you use a third-party lister for your Instagram posting.
Yes, I use later.com.
Later. Okay. She asked if you used Planoly. Is that the
I've
other
heard
one?
really good things about Planoly as well. I just personally use Later. They work great for me.
Awesome. Let's see. Barbara Parks, who is one of our most active Handmade Alphas in the public community, she wants to know if you had any challenges while completing HAA in terms of the content.
Yeah, I think the most challenging thing was actually, this is going to be a kind of weird answer, but it was like submitting to the program and just not moving ahead, not trying to like step ahead, not trying to find all the answers for myself. I work very fast, and I actually told you this morning I'm working on another project, and I actually like yelled out, I'm like, I want immediate results. Why isn't it being fixed right now, is what I was sharing with you this morning, Starla. And I always want to be able to do it and make it go really fast. And the fact that you went so into detail was awesome. But that was so hard for me. I'm like, why do I have to pick out my brand colors? I already like generally know what colors we use. But getting all of those little things so on point, and now I have them all written down and I have them all saved. The little things that you taught, I now reference so frequently. Like in building another website right now, I'm referencing like just those brand colors to keep it cohesive. Like, so it built a really good foundation. But yeah, the hardest part was being patient with the growth.
Right. And trusting the process.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's one of the big things I hear is people say, you know, okay, well, I'm only on module 2, but I need to know how to build an email list right now. So I'm going to zip ahead. And I say, you know, you could do that, but it's not going to be branded correctly. You're not going to have a defined target market so that you can get people to even join it. You're not going to have any of your colors or your logos or anything ready to go. So sure, you can zip ahead. You can make your email list, but you're just going to have to go back and do it all over again because you're going to feel really silly once you get all of these other aspects defined. I mean, any online course is like a puzzle where you have all these little pieces and none of them make sense. But as you start clicking them together, eventually you end up with a full picture that you can recognize. But in the beginning, you don't have a picture. You don't even have the box to reference for what that picture is going to look like. You're just kind of, you know, putting together the pieces in the order that they're laid out. So let's see. Do customers pick their own free samples, or do you choose them for them?
So depending on what they order, we will try to kind of combat something that will go with words
Choose
would work with those products. So like say they own, like they get one of our toners, they get one of our moisturizers, I'll put like a mask in there that would like fit their skin type that they go with. We do offer samples on our website of all the products that we sell for $3, just so like if they just want to try something for like a smaller cost to see if it's worth it for them, they can do that. But generally samples are kind of picked by us.
And I love that you, I mean, no lie here, as somebody who buys a lot of skincare and, you know, makeup and cosmetic products myself, like you price on the high end. And that is so important, because Paula doesn't have to make 100 sales to make a butt ton of money. Paula only needs to make like, you know, 10 sales to still have a big chunk of change in her pocket. So it's easier to sell one $100 product than 100 $1 products. And, you know, a lot of people, I know that people get really nervous about pricing that high, because they're like, oh, what if people don't think it's worth it? Or what if people don't buy? Or what if somebody says that, you know, my products are overpriced? Well, first of all, then they're not your target market if they think your products are overpriced. And if they, you know, if they don't see the value in it, then look for the people who are going to respect you for the product that you're selling, because you should be building that value through everything that you do, you know, even your branding.
You have to set a value so other people can see it as well.
Exactly. Yeah. When we like plan our collections and stuff, we have price points on them, and we're always like playing around with them and figuring out. And like our price point hack is we look at it and we're like, what's the least possible price that we would sell it at? And we fit that as like our wholesale. And then we go up from there, because we do some wholesale. So I've had one, maybe two people complain about our price points, and our price points range from $7 to 50. Well, 52. A 52 for single products, and then kits go up to 116. So, and I honestly, we have more people say like your products are really fairly priced, because we do reach an affluent market. So we have those affluent people saying like, oh, okay, like this is reasonable for me.
Right. And I mean, you got to think that a $52 product, the type of person that's going to buy a product priced that high is a valuable customer, because they have that money to spend. And if you turn into, as a skincare, you know, as a skincare provider, is that the word that I'm looking for? A skincare provider. You are ultimately creating a routine, and you have a product that once they run out, they're going to restock it, you know? So you have such an intelligent, just amazing business model to work with, just being in skincare in general, because when you become a part of their daily routine, they almost, if they love the product, they have to come back. It's not even a question. They have to come back over and over and over again. That way they don't mess up their routine that they've built.
That's what we do.
Perfect. Stacking that value. Let's see. Do you use separate paper to write the personal note to your customer, or do you just write it on the receipt? Like, do you fancy it up, or do you just slap it on the receipt?
So what we'll do is we include a receipt for their package, just so that they kind of like know what's in the box. But then aside from that, we'll have a little baggie that we put their samples in, a business card, just so they can follow us on all social medias, and then just keep it with them if they need to reference to us. And then in that, we'll put a little note card with a little note with their name, and like thanking them for what they ordered, and just kind of showing appreciation. Yeah,
we seal it with like a little clean and dirty sticker, so it's an extra little present for them to unwrap.
And we do also offer a coupon code in that for their next order, so that in the back of their mind too, like when they want to order, they know that they have that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love your presentation. He religiously uses the beard oil, like nonstop. He loves the beard oil.
He's healthy.
It's healthy. Nice, healthy beard. Let's see. Linda Barutha, who's also a Handmade Alpha Academy student, she wants to kind of zip backwards and go back to calling yourself a CEO. She said, would you recommend that even if your target audience is handmade business owners? Because she creates different like stickers and branding products to help fellow Etsy shop owners. And she wants to know if it would be weird to call herself a CEO when fellow business owners are her target market.
I don't think so. I think it's a mindset shift. You can use whatever word you want. You can say, I'm the president of the company. I'm the founder of the company. I'm the captain of my company. Like, you're the lead of your company. I just think CEO is a really powerful word.
And what you give out to people, like what you present yourself as, is what you're going to get back, and the respect you'll get back as well.
Exactly.
You have to feel
what. Yeah, I want you guys to shift from saying, oh, I just have a little like handmade company. I sometimes like make some things, to like, I am a CEO.
And it's okay if it takes time to do that, because that's something, like, I went full time with Paula in September, and that's something that I'm still working on, is being powerful in myself and like kind of giving people that like image of myself, because I feel a little awkward at sometimes, but it's all about just like keeping at it until you feel that confidence, and you have that confidence to show other people.
Right. And it builds over time. Like nobody naturally like feels that confident. I mean, I'm sure that there's like 1 in 100 people, but that's something that you build through practice, and that deliberate practice is what will turn it into a habit for yourself.
Exactly.
Let's see. Here's a good question from Angelica. She wants to know, let's see, we have 2 owners with completely different stories and a big age gap. Should we just focus on one of our stories, or should we tell both?
Ooh, that's a good question. 2 owners, different stories, big age gap. I'd have to like take a look at your social media and how it works. There's multiple ways to do it. You could just focus on whoever feels more comfortable in front of like the camera and telling their story, and they could kind of be the face of the company. I would do it really intentionally. Like, I would sit down with the 2 of you and set that intention of how you're going to do it. You can split it up as the 2, like get a bunch of photos of like the both of you taken together, so you can kind of tell your story of how you built the company together. Yeah. Like that would be really helpful. Or this would be like a pro level tip, is kind of do more soft selling, like products, quotes, customer reviews, like funny pictures in your actual stories, but then in your videos have like pass off between the 2 of you as to like who's kind of telling the story that day, so people can get to know the 2 of you.
And like selfies together, you know, things like that. I mean, when I first started Handmade Alphas, it was just me. I was in all the videos, I did all the selfies, and you only saw my face. And then we started doing like the little Tech Friday with him, and it would be like every few Fridays he would give some tech tips for those who are, you know, who have joined us more recently and who haven't been here from the beginning. But he would just kind of pop in and shyly sit there and talk and look down the whole time.
That's
and
what I did.
He was super duper nervous. But now it's like you don't think of one without the other. We've built this together. The selfies are all together. And though, I mean, obviously I'm the primary, people still know that he is an essential piece of the puzzle. And you can do that so easily just by making sure that you're giving spotlight to both. And to me, that just equals double content. You know, if you've got 2 stories to tell and you have lots of pictures of you and that other person together, I mean, you've got so much more content to post just because you have another story to talk about. So keep singing those 2 unique songs, but find a way to put them together so that they come together to form one solid message. So,
I love that. That's like the most perfect advice on that I've ever heard. I love it.
Perfect. That was kind of a hard question.
It was. That was great.
Yalissa wants to know, she says that she's got bad handwriting, and she wants to know if it matters when writing handwritten notes to customers.
Nam, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I probably go through like 50, like throw out like post-it cards like a day. I'm like, this looks bad, I'm gonna throw this away. I feel like as long as you maybe write their name and like maybe do like a signature on all your notes, just to show that you like touched that piece of paper and kind of like cared for it and everything, I feel like that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, my handwriting is definitely neater than yours.
It has its moments. Okay?
It has its moments. So like I think if you feel comfortable writing a full note, that's great. If you really don't, if you have really poor handwriting, or even like say you have a disability where you can't write a lot,
maybe that's the point where you can go to your nephews and your friends and stuff and trade them for product and just be like, hey, can you write some notes for me? And then maybe you could just write the names.
Yeah, or maybe you can just like print out a note and write their name. That's what we're doing for the bespoke, for the another wholesale order that we're doing. There's just like a bunch of orders that we're filling right now, and we just kind of printed out this template. It has a space for their name, so we write in their name, and then we sign our name at the bottom as well with like an XOXO, and that means a lot too. So I would recommend the full note, but if you don't have that ability, there's definitely ways to work around it and still give that personal touch.
Right, and that's so time saving. How about, because we have so many, so why don't we answer? Let's do 3 more.
Yeah.
And then if you want, I mean, I don't want you to like, I don't want to completely flood your schedule, but if you want to, maybe make a post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community if you want to, and then maybe put like a reminder link for the freebies.
Right.
And then if anybody has any additional questions that they weren't able to get answered today, then you could kind of carry the discussion over there. Does that sound
a great idea? And I really encourage you guys to go to that link and send the questions through there as well. Because you get that freebie, you get that free social media planning tool for the month of February, and it can be duplicated pretty much for any month. You just follow that schedule, and you will be put on our email list for really exciting things that are secrets. So yeah, you want to make sure you sign up that way.
Awesome. And that link is, and she just wants you to answer one little question for her. Yeah. I just posted the link in the comments, but you can also find it down in the description right at the top. There's like a little thing that says see more, and click see more, and then the full description along with all of her links to her shop and her website, those will all expand as well. So we're going to take 3 more. Let's see. I'm trying to find some good ones that we haven't already covered. My Kind of Wonderful 84 asks, how do I handle trying to grow my business when I'm going through lots of life changes? I opened my shop in April of 2018. I sell hand-painted wood signs, up to 60 sales so far.
Wow, that's awesome.
Life changes.
I'm sorry?
She has big life changes and she's trying to grow her business at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope the life changes are good, and I'm sorry if they're not. First of all, I know that life happens and sometimes it's really challenging, and it's hard to keep your business going when you're just kind of trying to stay afloat. My best suggestion for that is to do things in batches and to kind of get really good systems. So if you're thinking about something like social media scheduling, using an app like Later, so you can schedule it in 1 hour just for 1 week and kind of get it out of the way. In terms of like hand painting your signs, can you cut all your signs in one batch? Can you paint all of your signs in one batch? Can you wait until 1 hour every 2 days to answer all your customer emails? Like, can you try and batch those things? We do a lot of batching here. Like, we used to make 1 or 2 products at a time, and now we make 40 units at a time. Like, that saves a lot of time so that you can focus. Like, it seems like the energy that you have right now really needs to go into those life changes. But at the same time, you need an income, right? Like, you need to make money. And sometimes you need that money even more in those times where your life isn't like in the best place. So I would really like look at what's taking up the most time for you and figuring out, not even necessarily like, is it worth it? Can I get rid of those things? But also, how can I make them more efficient? How can I delegate them to someone?
The whole work smarter, not harder. And like I say, like right when you join Handmade Alpha Academy and you get into module 1, one of the very first things that you hear when you start the course is we all have the same 24-hour day. And if anybody knows like Oprah's full story about the abuse that she went through and all of the terrible things that happened to her, I mean, look at her now. We have the same 24-hour day as her. We have the same 24-hour day as Elon Musk. We have the same 24-hour day as some of the greatest minds in the world. We have the same 24-hour day as Albert Einstein. And everybody is allotted this amount of time. How can you use it? What are you doing in your daily life that you could, rearrange or automate? That's another huge one. Yeah. Automation processes make life so much easier when it comes to social media planners, and we'll say, automated emails, which we actually have an email list question next. So that fit together pretty well. Nicole wants to know, do you use email marketing and how does this work for you?
Yes, big time. So email lists are the end game for us. Like our goal is to get our people on our email list because those people are the most likely to buy from you. So absolutely, we use MailChimp in the way that Starla recommends. We already had a MailChimp set up, but your lessons on it really helped us kind of nail it down. And everything we do on our social media, the end game is to push people to our email list. So we do a lot of giveaways where they're in order to qualify, they have to be on our email list. At every single event we go to, the moment we breathe a word on somebody, we encourage them to sign up for our email list. Yes, absolutely. Because guys, tomorrow Facebook could be gone, YouTube could be gone, Instagram could be gone. We don't know what's going to happen. You can always download your email list, hold on to those email list subscribers, and you can always contact them.
Right, they're yours. I mean, and we didn't link her email list down below, but what we did link were her Facebook account and her Instagram.
Yep.
And all of that is on those. Like if you just scroll just for a second, you'll find it. So be sure to join her email list, and keep in mind that if you don't answer her emails, or not answer, but if you don't open her emails and you join and you decide to ignore her, I also taught her how to get rid of you. I think I teach in Handmade Alphas. So because I mean, subscribers cost money after a while. They're not free. I pay quite a lot for my Handmade Alpha list. So if you're just joining to kind of snope her out for a minute and you're not actually interested in her products, maybe be nice and unsubscribe yourself if you're just joining to, you know, snope her out. But at the same time, I highly recommend staying on her list just because she has great products and there's so much that you can learn from her. But I mean, what if she's hosting a sale and she's selling just what you need to complete your skincare routine? So make sure to stay on there.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yes, I use the coffee mask. I made him try the coffee mask too. I love when it dries and you feel like you can't, like your skin is gonna crack if you move your face. That's like my favorite thing about putting on those masks is when they dry up. All right, so let's go ahead. I think we've got one more. Well, this will be the last one. And then any other questions, guys, join the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. It is linked down below with the little wolf emoji next to it. Paula is going to start a discussion in there. That way she can kind of remind everybody of the link to get those freebies. But if you guys have questions, comment on that link. Her name is Paula Hoss. She's going to be super duper easy to find because I'm sure that discussion is going to remain like up high in the newsfeed on the page. But Daisy Chain asks, I saw that you send people from your Instagram link to both your shop and Etsy. Why did you decide to do that? How is the ratio? How many people choose your shop versus Etsy? I only send them to my shop.
Great question. I think what she's talking about is we have a link tree in our Instagram profile, and I'll tell you guys what's on it right now. I actually probably should update it a little bit. So she's talking about if you go, I don't know how well that can be seen. If you go to our profile and there's something called a link tree, and on the link tree, it pulls up, because on Instagram, you can only have one link. So our first link is become a Clean and Dirty VIP to get a code for a free lip balm plus 10% off plus free shipping. So what that does is that signs you up for our email list. So that's the first link that we have. Shop our site is the first one. Shop our Etsy is the second one. And the third one and the fourth one is watch us win the Rockland Trust Small Business Big Dreams contest. So the reason why I send everybody to the site and my Etsy is, though we do prefer traffic on our site, we make a little bit more money because we don't have to pay Etsy fees. We have a little more control over our website. Some people just prefer shopping on Etsy. The more sites you have, the more they think of you, the more confidence they have on you, the more, going back to our conversation earlier, the more they trust you. You go to my Etsy site, you see that I have thousands of sales and thousands of reviews. Even if you don't shop the Etsy and you go to the site, you're gonna trust me. And remembering, going back to that know, like, trust. Trust is the last step before sell. So the more I can get people to trust me, the more I will be able to sell to them.
I love that. And you know, this is a funny story that we had. Mark was making a purchase from Jacqueline from the Wicked Griffin. And he was looking at her Etsy shop. and I said, hey, you know, she's got a website. You should check out the website. The same products are on there, but her website just looks so cool. You got to see it. So he got on her website and was scrolling through, and he's like, yeah, this is really cool, but I'd rather shop on Etsy. And he went back to Etsy because he's already got a profile. He has a way to leave his personal review. And, you know, for some people, they need that security net of Etsy where they know that they can report you to Etsy if, you know, for some reason you're a cruddy seller and you do something terrible, but they feel safer. And maybe for their second purchase, maybe if you threw in like a little insert into their package that says, hey, for your next purchase, you can buy from my website and get this discount. You know, there's a million ways to do it. But for that initial sale, I think having an Etsy shop alongside of your own standalone website is extremely important because you have Etsy is your funnel, right?
Right. It's part of the funnel. And we worked so hard to make it look gorgeous. And yeah, we want to make it look good.
And the way we have it set up too is on our Etsy, we have all of our core products. And then on our website, we have our seasonal products, limited edition stuff. And that's where we have mostly our sales. So, and then when we do get Etsy orders, when I'm writing out notes to people, I will be like, oh, like, have you checked out CLN&DRTY.com and check out exclusive deals and new products just so that they know that that's there too.
Perfect. All right, Paula, let's real quick recap on the goodies and where they can find them. And I will post the link one last time before we scoot out. So go ahead and recap. What do you have for everybody?
Right. So as a reminder, guys, one thing we talked about today was the know, like, trust, sell model. So one of the best ways to sell to people is not sell, sell, sell. It's to get them to know you, like you, then they trust you, and then you can sell to them. And one of the easiest ways to get that funnel started is through your social media accounts, which I'm sure you're already using. We've heard hundreds of people saying that they are struggling with that. So what we've done is we've created a February calendar for your social media scheduling. It's what we use at Clean and Dirty headquarters, just 1 hour a week to schedule for the entire week. And all you need to do is follow the link that Starla is going to share with you in the comments, in the description, and I'm also going to post it to the Handmade Alpha Facebook page. Go to that and let me know what personal branding questions you might have. And you're going to be added to the email list where you guys are going to get some really great announcements coming up soon.
Yay. Paula has some things. Paula has things going on. I can't say anything, but I will say that this is not the last that we're going to hear from Paula. That's all I'm allowed to say, or else she'll send her chickens to get me.
No, we got rid of the rooster, so it's good.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't like roosters.
We had an attack rooster.
Yep.
Yeah. Are all roosters attack roosters?
Apparently not. It became a human resources issue.
Oh no.
Down the driveway, it's fine.
I don't. Yeah, that's not an animal that I really. I mean, I like chickens, but I could do without roosters. I wish we could have chickens and not have roosters. All right, Paula, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to not hang up on the call because we will still be able to chat with you after it ends. Guys, be sure to join the Handmade Alpha Facebook community down below if you are not yet a member, because Paula is going to be hopping in there after her and I have a minute to talk. And then you can ask her any questions that we weren't able to cover today, because I know that there were hundreds that probably went unanswered. And please try to keep those questions condensed to that post that we create in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, rather than tracking her down via her Etsy shop or any emails that you might be able to scrounge up, just so she can keep everything condensed and not completely overtake her schedule. So guys, I hope you all had an awesome week, and I cannot wait to see you next Friday. I don't know what our topic's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.